explaining issuing any fines, as they have done in past weeks, because the social distancing and guidelines for no more than 6 in public places are obviously clearly being broken here. The police say 10,000 people have been taking part in anti-racism protests in Bristol. Protesters pulled down a statue of the 17th century slave trader and MP Edward Colston. A number of landmarks in Bristol are named after him. In the past few years, there have been repeated calls to remove the statue, as Colston's a controversial figure who made his fortune in the slave trade, but was also known as a philanthropist behind hospitals, schools and almshouses. I've been speaking to the author and historian, Professor David Olusoga, and he told me the statue should have been taken down a long time ago.
Well, as you said, the statue was put up in 1895. He died in 1721, so the statue is almost 2 centuries after his death. And what it shows is not only that 17th century London and Bristol were involved in the slave trade, but that 19th century Bristol didn't care that it was honouring a man who'd been involved in the slave trade. This is a city that's about 14% BAME, with a statue of somebody who was not just a slave trader. He was involved in the Royal Africa Company, the company that trafficked more people into slavery than any in British history. The fact that it has not been seen as a problem for such a long time, that so many people are confused as to why this statue offends and upsets so many people, has been the problem.
But aren't people mature enough to realise that this statue is of a man who, in his era, did things which are abhorrent, of course, to any right-thinking person today? But that is the historical context, and we don't need to erase history to understand that.
Removing statues is not erasing history, and this is the constant accusation made of people who have been digging into this history, trying to make the city more aware of who Colston was, doing everything they can to try to raise the profile of the Atlantic slave trade. And what's happened here is that people have asked for the statue to be put in the museum. People have attempted to put plaques on the statue explaining that this wealth that was bequeathed to the city was born from the Atlantic slave trade, and all of those attempts have been thwarted. All of those efforts have been dismissed and patronised. And I'm afraid today this should never have happened, because this statue should have been taken down, and it should have been a great collective day for Bristol when the statue was peacefully taken down and put in a museum, which is where, after all, we remember history properly.
Exactly, but as you say, so it's not about statues, it's about understanding history.
But statues aren't the mechanism by which we understand history. We learn history through museums, through books, through television programmes. Statues are about adoration. They're about saying that this man was a great man and he did great things. That is not true. He was a slave trader and a murderer.
David Olusoga speaking to me a little earlier. The number of people confirmed to have been killed by coronavirus around the world has now passed 400,000. Just 5 months after China first reported the first known fatality there. For the first time, no new deaths have been recorded in Scotland.
نقفل التلفزيون عشان نتكلم شوية مع بعض في الحاصل
Here, a senior scientist and a member of the group which advises the British government on their coronavirus strategy has said he wishes Britain had locked down sooner, and the failure to do so.
الأوضة جايطة شوية عشان عزاب يعني فحقدر أقلب الكاميرا على الجهة الثانية. طيب شفنا هسه قبل شويه. السلام عليكم، مساء الخير. شفنا الحاصل في لندن تحديدا او بريطانيا بصوره عامه، في العالم بالنسبه للتفاعلهم مع الحصل الراحل جورج في يو اس. شفنا الناس دي تفاعلت كيف، وشفنا الحاصل في العالم. في بي بي سي مركزين في حته بتاعت انه هاي صح الناس معهم حق، لكن وين السوشيال ديستانسينج والحياه دي. فاللايف كان بس في الحته دي انه نشوف مع بعض الخبر ده، وهم كيف متحركين متفاعلين في الشارع، منفعلين شديد مع الحاصل. و دي لفتة بارعة جدا من العالم انه يلتف حول قضية هي القضية بتاعت الراسيزم دي. في أي حتة هي عاملة مشكلة كبيرة، ونحن في السودان بنعاني منها برضو يعني، ودي حاجة معروفة لنا كلنا، بس بنحاول نغطيها يعني، ونضارع عليها ونعمل لها تصنيفات أخلاقية كده، وللحكاية ما كده، وتفاصيل كثيره، وده موضوع بيحتاج للايف منفصل ما له علاقه بنقل الخبر اللي كان هسه في بي بي سي. فنعتبره كده نوالي لايف تاني نتكلم شويه، اطلعكم شويه من جو اللايفات البرة اللي بتكون او الدور لو جاز التعبير بالنسبه للجداريات اللي شفناها شفناها سوا مع بعض في كم حته في كوالالمبور، كم حته في لانكاوي. لانكاوي كانت اكتر حاجه فيها الشغل بتاع الجرافيتي اكتر من المورالز. في بينان كان في الجداريات اكتر. طبعا برضه في الجرافيتي في شوارع كتير يعني. فخلونا المره الجايه كده في اليوم الجاي ان شاء الله نتكلم عن لايف شويه يكون فيه نقاش وفيه اخذ ورد في الكلام مع بعض. بس محتاج ارتب له الافكار، اطلع نقاط معينه عشان اكون حاصر نفسي في اللايف ان شاء الله. فنعتبره ده برومو للايف. خلينا نتكلم عن القضايا الكبيره، واكون قاعد في حته كده وبنتكلم يعني ان شاء الله. شكرا لحسن المتابعه، نتلاقى في لايف ثاني ان شاء الله. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله تعالى وبركاته.